Hey you guys, welcome back to my obsession. It's Stella yet again. And this is going to be a unique video for me because I decided to do a video on 10 knives with phenomenal handles. And this was my inspiration for this video actually because this is the Tucson Ts 248, I believe, and it has one of the best handles I've ever put in my hand on a knife, and I am not exaggerating. This thing, it has this really odd shaped blade which makes me want to sell it, but it also makes me want to keep it. So I'm keeping it, especially because of the handle. The way it feels in your hand is just right. It just feels so good. And then it has a choil, which is it's a really nice sized finger choil, and it has this spot for your thumb back here, a strange spear point blade, which is surprisingly useful, uh, especially with packages. This thing is amazing. I stuck it in a tree branch the other day, took a couple pictures of it, and it was amazing. I mean, it stuck. This right here, this is infinity on the stabby scale. I'm telling you guys, this thing is infinity, and my stabby scale only goes to 10. Anyway, so yeah, today is all about the handles. It's not about the blades. So here we go. All right. So, like I said, it's the Tucson TS 248, and it's got a wonderful handle. It's very smooth, but it has micro milling, just these little subtle lines. Has T8 hardware even in the clip, which is very unusual. These are T6s, but that's something that you almost never have to worry about taking care of, or taking apart, I should say. But yeah, T8s all around on this one. I wish everybody would do that. Another thing that I love about this knife is the backspacer. The little decorative X's, and I'm sure it's because Max to he's got a funky name, and I don't want to butcher it. It's a really cool name. It's like it's Kachuk. That's butchering, but I'm assuming these are probably indicative of like his signature in a way. I don't know many more of his designs, to be quite honest with you. I was just looking them up last night, and I started to see some things that are really beautiful out there, and not just with Tucson. He's working with a lot of knife makers, so I'm looking forward to buying some more of his designs because so far I love them. So yeah, this one is comfortable this way. It's comfortable this way. It's comfortable this way. It's comfortable every way. I mean, this is not one of these types. It doesn't work well that way, but I mean, you can still use it that way. It's just not really what this knife is for. I think a smaller knife would be in line for something like that. But yeah, this thing will get you through your day. I'll tell you that. Yeah. So up next, I have a Kubi that you have not seen on my channel, not yet. This is my first time showing this guy. I have a little like a silent video I did where I just showed the blade. I showed the knife off, but I didn't do a review or anything. So yeah, for a small knife, this has a really, really great handle. It's wide, and that's where Kubi gets you sometimes because they can make a smaller knife, but it's got such a little thickness to it. It fills your hand up, and it doesn't feel like unsteady, and it doesn't feel cheap. It definitely it feels solid. I'll say that. I got this knife for $20 on eBay. I couldn't believe it. It's got titanium bolsters. It's got AUS-10 steel. I mean, nice G10 handles. This is a nice. Oh, and the pocket clip is also titanium. It's got a really, really great lockup with the liner lock, and it has thumb stud and the other ones too. Oh, flipper tab, sorry. And thumb stud, which on this one is hard to do, so I'm not going to do it. Tears me up. But yeah, I love the shape of this. It's got a little recurve to it and slightly reminiscent of a kukri design in my eyes. It's got a really nice decorative swedge on top. This thing is sharp as can be too. Great steel. I'm a big fan of Aus 10. So yeah. And up next we have the Citavine 103. This one has a wonderful, wonderful handle. You can fit all 4 fingers. It's got a little choil, but not big enough to choke up with. This one is a really awesome Wharncliffe, and it's got a decorative swedge on top that's bead blasted with a satin finish. And check out the lines on there, how they go this way instead of this way. I really like that. It's just a little extra that they did with this knife, and it's huge budget knife. I mean, this Citavine brand is blowing up though, probably in part from the knife beater. He's a huge fan of Citavine. He actually was the reason I looked him up, and I ordered this one and I fell in love with it. It's my only Citavine, but I can't wait to get another one. I'm seeing these micarta handles they're coming out with. They all their knives seem to be really, really decent size, nice worker knives. This has the jimping on the back there. It's perfect too. It's just as grippy as you'd want it to be without chewing up your finger. It's got this little like a ridge in the handle, and this is extremely nice G10, by the way. But this ridge right here is just, it helps in the ergos. I can't explain how or why, but it's like your fingers kind of hook above it, and it just works. It works with everything. The pocket clip is deep carry, so you do feel it on the back of your palm a little bit, but it's really not bad at all. I've had much worse and used them for way longer, if you know what I'm saying. So yeah, that's the Citavine 103, and that's in D2. And up next we have, of course I had to, it's the Concept Main Street, and it's the large size. This one, like I was saying in the review, this one has a wider handle instead of a thicker handle, and that's how Concept does it. That's how they make their handles fill your hands. They do a really good job of not creating an extremely bulky knife by making a more slender design, and I think it's genius on their part. You guys know how I feel about it. I'm still crushing on it. Up next, we have next is the riffle. It's the Citavine riffle, and this one fills the hand by having a nice neutral grip and being wider this way. Similar in the way that Concept is wider this way and thinner this way. It's not exactly thin this way, but it's not thick either. But it's just got a really great neutral grip. I love this handle. It works pretty well for my hand personally. So yeah, the Citavine riffle, really great handles, ergos, everything. Kitty. And then we're gonna do the Spyderco Native 5. It's this one's fabulous in hand. This way or this way. This one works really well with the choil though. It's similar to a lot of other knives that have large finger choils. They set it up so well that you can use it with the choil very comfortably, or you can use it just with the handle very comfortably. And yeah, the Spyderco Native is one of my favorite knives, like to date so far. I'm gonna have to do a ultimate knives to date. Yeah, this will be in it, that's for sure. So yeah, there's the native, and this is the native 5, which I am struggling with right now, but great ergos. Awesome handle. And next we have the QSP Gannett. This is one of those wonderful handles that it just sits in your hand very comfortably. Any way you want to hold this knife is going to be comfortable. The reverse grip, any way you want to hold this. You can even hold it in the utility grip type, and it's really comfortable. What makes it so comfortable in the utility grip is because this part right here is flush, so the blade is flush with the scales right there. So when you go to choke up or pinch even, your thumb lands right there on that flat part, and it just works nicely. So you got that utility, you're able to use that as a utility cutter. Ooh, that blade is beautiful though, but we're talking about handles, and this is definitely one of the best. So yeah, if you guys haven't gotten your hands on a Gannett yet, I definitely recommend it. And up next we have the Kaiser October. This one is a shorter guy. Still, you're able to fit all 4 on the handle itself, but you're also able to choke up very well on this one. And in the choking up position, it just fits nicely. And again, it has a lot to do with the blade being flush with the scales right here. They put a flat spot right here, and a lot of these knives I notice on their handles, that flat spot makes a huge difference as far as ergos go, and how good your handle's gonna be. I totally think this has a ton to do with it. It does in my eyes anyway. And another fabulous knife by Kaiser. Great little knife. I love this flipper too, but we are not talking about flippers. Sorry. Then we have the Bestek Ascot. This guy is so nice in your hand. It lays so gently and so nice, and it just feels like sophistication in your hand. It's seriously, it feels the way it looks. It feels great. And that thing is pretty stabby too. Definitely a 10 on the stabometer. But yeah, wonderful handle. This one has a little thicker handle instead of the wide. And again, you know, it's a matter of geometry when it comes to knives. Everybody knows that. And whether you do it thick this way and slender this way, like this one's a little slender, but it's not too skinny. It's gonna fill your hand though, because it's thicker this way. Now you can do it thicker this way and slender this way, and it will still fill the hand, because we're talking about what ends up in the palm. In my case, I tend to use my knives basically in the hammer grip, or you know, the saber grip, whatever you want to call it. That's just how I tend to use my knives. I do a lot of this sometimes though, but it depends on what kind of packages I'm getting or whatever that day. But beautiful handle on top of the ergos. Beautiful handle. I love that mix of the carbon fiber and G10. It's gorgeous. And then the pivot collar there, and they did it on both sides, so it just comes out really nice. And again, you have this a little set finger choil, or maybe just a cutout a little bit, and it works. I mean, it's not forcing your hand in any way, shape, or form. And I really love that freedom with every knife that I have. Not being forced into a position is what ergos really, to me, is all about. I love it when my hand falls into position, but the position itself, it has to be a generalized position. Like they have to just maybe carve out a spot, but not force a finger choil here and there, like you're going to have skinnier fingers than me, or most girls I know they don't have fat fingers like me. So if they were to choke up, or if they were to grab some of my knives that I think are perfect for my hand, they're not going to agree in a lot of cases because they have skinny fingers and I have female sausage fingers. So, chubby girl. Yeah. Okay, anyway. Next, we have the CJRB Scoria. I had to, because this one I am seriously, this is up there with the best ergos of all time for me. And that's because when you master the art of a finger choil and the handle, and in both grips, it is perfect for you. In my book, this right here is what this video is all about. This and that Tucson that I began with, that's what this video is all about. I love this handle, and they utilized a slender build this way and then made it a little wider that way. It's not really wide, so I can see how maybe some people with larger hands, if you've got very large man hands especially, this may not fit your hand as well as it fits mine. So you may not agree with me, and that's okay. We don't have to agree. Or in the knife community, it's awesome because we all know that's just how it works. Some people are going to like things differently because it carries differently for them, So in my opinion, this is one of the best handles I've ever had in my life. So right now, you've just seen 10 of my favorite handles. Why don't you comment below on some of your favorite handles? I'd love to hear it from you. I hope you made it to the end. See you soon!